For today's tutorial, I want to create a look inspired by Glenda from Wicked. I'm calling this Delicate Glam. It's softer than soft glam. It's delicate. We created the green look last week, and then I created a face look to go along with it. That was a smoky, deep green tone. I'll link that above and below, but I wanted to create a very delicate, very soft with that beautiful shine and some shape. And what I love about this is that you can keep it quite matte and it's very wearable and very subtle, which is more like subtle glam. But for that delicate glam, we're gonna add in that shimmer. Now, I really want you to make sure you're adjusting this for your skin tone and shade. So I'm using a shade lighter than my skin tone for my first eyeshadow, an eyeshadow that is at least one shade darker than my skin tone, and then I'm using a dark shade that I would typically use for eyeliner, so I'm using a dark brown. Once you have those shades that work with your skin depth, I want you to think about your skin tone. I'm using a pinky shimmer next. I have a neutral skin tone. This is a neutral pink. It's going to work for me, but you don't have to use pink. Say if you have an olive skin tone, you might want to use a soft gold. A warm skin tone, you might want to go more peachy or more copper. A cooler skin tone, more of a bluey pink. Don't just follow along with me, follow along with you. And a bonus shade is to pick a fade shade that pretty much matches the shimmer. So whatever shade of shimmer you used, try to find a matte version of that. Typically your blush will probably work. So gather up all your ingredients and let's get started. As always, we want to start off by priming the lids. Now I'm going to do something a little differently today. Because my lids are a little bit more discolored than normal, I'm going to add in a lighter shade of concealer with my primer. And what this is going to do is just tone it down a little bit, but also give me a brighter effect on my lid. This is all about creating brightness, not lightness, but more brightness on the lid. So use whatever eyeshadow primer works for you and your skin tone. Now the first brush that you need is a flat brush. This is going to be used to pack on your first eyeshadow, and your first eyeshadow is one shade lighter than your skin tone. Now you just want to pick something that's brighter. You don't have to go very light with this. What we're basically doing is creating a powdery, silky, satin, full coverage all over the lid. Now you don't want to go too light. It's not the early 2000s, and I'm mostly saying that to myself because I used to wear a white lavender shade on my lids all the time. But we just want to go brighter on the lid. This is just going to lift the eyes, and then we can add in the shape afterwards. I want you to put down the flat brush, and I want you to pick up a fluffy brush. Whichever favorite blending brush you have, pick that up and take that eyeshadow that's at least one shade darker than your skin tone. So think of your bronzer and your contour as a guide for this. Tap off the excess because we want to start off very slowly, and I'm also going to do something a bit differently. I'm going to slightly tilt my head backwards. This is just going to expose that outer third of the eye. We're basically going to focus on this area to create a subtle cat eye. So we're lifting the eye on that outer edge. So here we have our crease line, but we want to focus on the outer third of that crease line. Ariana was saying that Glenda's makeup style actually has that cat eye look that she's quite famous for, but it has more of a subtle softness. So the outer edge is deeper, but it's not too dark. Because we're using a shade that's only one shade darker than her skin tone, we're gonna get that soft, delicate effect. And I'm gonna start with the brush quite low and kind of push upwards. Because my head is tilted, it creates the right angle for me to get just right into that outer third. Once you've stamped on there, you can just do little wiggly motions, bringing it down to the lash line. And then I want you to lift your hand ever so slightly upward so it's more straight, at a straight angle, coming right at that outer third. Now with less product on the brush, because we've stamped most of it on, I want you to very slowly start to blend this. So you're going to bring your hand slightly lower in front of you and just sweep that following your natural curve of your crease. And I'm ever so delicately holding this brush. I'm really holding it further down on the handle, and I'm just gliding it over my eye. And we're bringing this pretty much to the inner edge, right where our brows are almost. But I want you to keep it very, very soft. So all the focus on the outer edge, and then it's bringing it all the way in to create that shape that's very nice and high. Do you see what I mean? It's going low on the outer edge and then high as it reaches to the inner corner. Now, if you're struggling with this, don't worry, because what I want you to do is take a clean brush. So if you have a fluffy brush that's clean, I want you to very lightly blend over the top of this to get rid of any harsh lines. This is all about delicate. It's all about softness. So we really want to make sure that these lines are nice and clean. And a clean brush really helps to disperse any of those harsh lines. Yes, it removes a little bit of the shadow, but it pushes it around, so it's okay. Now use your clean brush or your blending brush if you like and pick up a little bit of your fade shade. Now this is optional. You don't have to do this, but it adds in that little bit of pink matte tone that's going to help our shimmers look really good. So we're picking up a little bit of that product on that brush, we're tapping off the excess, and we're focusing this again on the outer third. This is ever so delicate. This is so soft. It is barely there. For the regulars on this channel, you know that a fade shade is very delicate. It's unnoticeable, but it's there. Now we're going to add in fake eyeliner using a dark shadow. This is the brush that you need. It is the E88. It is exactly the shape and angle and size that I like to use for my eye shape, and I feel like it works on most people. It's not too long, it's not too short, it's dense, and it really takes all of the pressure off you. The brush is going to do the work for you. I picked up some of that dark shadow. I'm going to lay it on the outer edge of my eye, or you can use your lower lash line as a guide and kind of bring it upwards. So see how I opened my eye really wide so I can see the shape of that lower lash line, and then I'm bringing it upwards, and this is basically where I'm going to stamp this in. And this is just a dark eyeshadow. And we're going to be blending this out. But what this is going to do is create a shadow. It's basically going to create something that's like, is that eyeliner she's wearing? Or maybe it's not. And that actually comes from a Marilyn Monroe trick. Marilyn Monroe's makeup artist, and also herself, used to create lines above and below that basically made her eyes look like she had really amazing lashes that were creating a shadow. But it doesn't have to be perfect, because we will be blending this out using our flat brush. It should not be seen. It's there, but it's not there. And that's what's delicate about it. For the next step, you're going to grab that shimmer, whatever shimmer you decided to go with. I'm using a neutral pink, and I'm using that flat brush to apply it. Now, I'm going to be focusing this on the center of the lid. We're going up a little bit higher to create that Ariana Glenda kind of style. So it's a little bit higher, almost hitting the inner corner of the crease, and then bringing it down onto the lid. And what that basically does is it throws off the balance of the eyes so that the eyes look more like cat eye, but also large on the inner corner. Now, another thing that you can do to create that more open look is to take your highlighter, so your face highlighter, and just tap this on that inner corner of the eye. Whatever shade that you like to use on your face is probably going to work on your eyes as well. And then you should end up with something that looks like this, and then you can go ahead and apply mascara. A great way to create that cat eye look without really even trying is to make sure you're focusing your lashes going outwards. So use your mascara and coat all of your lashes, but then finish off by pulling the outer corner outwards to create that wide-eyed effect. Lashes that I absolutely love if you want that cat eye effect, but you also have fire apart eyes, is Blessed. Blessed by Kiss are just beautiful because they have that cat eye depth on the outer corner, but they're not too heavy. They don't pull my eyes apart, but they still create that lifted effect on the outer corner, which I love. I love these lashes so much. Now, another way that you can create that cat eye look and create that lifted effect is to make sure you're keeping that outer corner nice and tight with a little bit of concealer, and then just blending this out. This is just going to clean up that edge so the edge looks tighter, it looks more pronounced, and that's creating that shadow that creates that lift. You can also apply a lighter shade of pencil. I like to work with something that is lighter than my skin tone, but don't go too light. You don't have to use white. And then again, go in with a touch of mascara. One thing I noticed is that Ariana doesn't have a lot of heaviness on the lower lashes. She's kept it very simple, almost like her lower lashes don't exist. Her lower lash line is just defined like it's there, but it's not there. It's incredibly delicate. But that just means that all of the focus is on the upper part of the eye, which lifts the eyes even more. And then there you go. That is a very simple way to do a delicate cat eye. This works for everybody, and you can adjust this to make sure that it works for your skin tone and your skin depth. Definitely let me know if you have any questions though, because as always, I am here to help. And I will see you in a video really soon. I will create a full face of very soft, delicate makeup. If you would like to see that, definitely let me know. And I will see you in the next one. Tell people to be kind to themselves and to have a good day.
Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Have a good day.
We'll see you in the next one.
And we'll see you in the next one.
You've committed to being in my next video now because you said it.